Manchester United 2, Leicester 1. The Red Devils are through to the next round in the FA Cup. What happened in this tactical clash between Ruben Amorim and Ruud van Nistelrooy? Without any further ado, let's analyze. Alright, so let's get started with this tactical analysis video by starting with the build-up phase. Manchester United, of course, used Ruben Amorim's favored 3-2 formation in the build-up. Of course, it's pretty well documented on this channel why I'm not a big fan of that shape. The few moments where we could actually penetrate the opposition was whenever we could involve Bruno Fernandes in his capacity as a deep line playmaker who was able to play passes into the wide areas. But even then, we get the ball wide, but there wasn't much penetration from Dorgu and Amad Diallo, for example, here on the right-hand side. But quite a lot, we had to rely on players who were outside of that 3-2 formation, most notably Diogo Dalot, who is not very good, okay? And so here in this sequence, for example, okay, now he's looking good. But then all of a sudden, he doesn't look. Okay, a no-look pass. Good job, Diogo. But of course, to no one. And Diogo, we need to talk. I hate being mean on this channel, but bro, I gotta talk to you, okay? The greats, the Ronaldinhos, the Messis, the Zidanes, they can do it because, yeah, I mean, you turn an already successful pass into a humiliation of the opponents, aka, guys, I can put it off with my eyes closed, right? But you, Diogo, you need to look. Look with binoculars, look with X-ray vision, look with the Hubble Space Telescope. You have to use all the help you can get, Diogo. And so, of course, Diogo Dalot was not successful many times. That was not the only time. Every time he would get the ball into these wide areas, he would just cut inside and then just play speculative long ball into no one and just turn over the possession to Leicester. From Leicester's perspective also, the build-up phase was quite a failure for them, mainly because our midfield players, especially Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes, were actually quite potent defensively, playing in behind the attacking trio. For example, here, Bruno Fernandes, and we are able to recycle the ball. So Manchester United and Leicester kind of reached a stalemate when it comes to the build-up play. None of the teams or none of the players were actually able to create any sort of penetration from the build-up. However, Ruud van Nistelrooy was actually the first one to adapt to this stalemate and find a way around it in order to create chances and eventually to score goals. Because midway through the first half, you started noticing that Leicester started to create clusters around the wide areas, especially in our defensive third. Every time we had the throw-in in these areas, they would just press us aggressively. Why? Because here they can use the two lines, okay, so the goal line and the touch line, in order to kind of like trap us into this area. Now, of course, in this particular sequence, which was in the 32nd minutes, it didn't really lead to much. We were quite able to clear the ball out wide. But that kind of shows you the building blocks of what Leicester were trying to do. Because about 8 minutes later, Leicester were able to score. And look at this. As they have a free kick in their own half, you see their players actually moving aggressively into this wide area. And as the goalkeeper comes in and plays a long ball, he's actually not targeting a specific player. Of course, it's Jordan Ayew. But of course, he's targeting this area right here, this zone. So basically, the concept is very simple. You target an area where your players are clustered. It's actually the same concept as just taking a piece of bloody meat and throwing it into a pond filled with piranhas. That's the same idea. So you just throw the ball into that area. The moment it drops, your players are there. Here we have 6 Leicester players. They are outnumbering the Manchester United players. And then here Soumaré does a good job getting the ball out of Ugarte. But as you can see, of course, because there is a numerical superiority for Leicester, they're actually able to create a dangerous chance. El Khanous, really talented player, gets the ball, goes into the half space. And then here, look how close Kobbie Mainoo is to Ndidi. But he loses him. So Ndidi makes the right run. And then here, the quality of El Khanous' pass is flawless. He's anticipating that Ndidi is going to end up in this area right here. So he makes a pass to the area, not to the man. And Kobbie Mainoo should have done better in here. I mean, that's just, defensively not good. Favorable rebound towards Reed. And then Leicester are, of course, able to score. Now, this goal just took the weight out of Leicester's players' shoulders, because after that, I mean, in the third quarter of the game, if you may, so the first half of the second half, they were the better team. I mean, there were sequences where it looked like we were playing Pep Guardiola's Barcelona in Rome or Wembley. For example, here, Soumaré is just able to, waltz through our defense. Here again, case with wings, just looking like prime Iniesta in here, just moving into these spaces. These spaces, by the way, between the defense and midfield. A player like Hojlund, for example, he just enjoyed himself just playing in this pocket right here between the defenders and the midfielders. So yeah, Leicester were able to just pass the ball around us, and we could not gain any control of the game. In fact, Al-Khanous could have scored the decisive winning goal for Leicester at the 76th minute if it were not for Mazraoui. He's quite fast, and then Mazraoui with some Moroccan action to just save the day. But the Manchester United players adapted right after that, because we were starting to see a little bit more risk taken from the Manchester United players. You can see here again with that 3-2 formation, but here something changed in that we notice more risk taken from the defenders and more risk taken from the midfielders. For example, here Bruno moves into space and Lenioro passes the ball to him. Bruno with a no-look pass towards Ugarte, and Ugarte just emerges victorious in this duel against Soumare right there. And then Garnacho makes the run. The introduction of Garnacho has been key for Ruben Amorim, because he recognized that we didn't have enough penetration, enough dynamism on the wings, and Garnacho just provided that. That was a great cameo from Garnacho, by the way. And then here Ugarte is able to cut through the defense like a hot knife through butter, and then Garnacho, that should have been a goal, and that would have been an amazing goal if it was not from this goal line clearance, okay? But then, of course, the second weapon in Ruben Amorim's arsenal is, of course, Harry Maguire, because Harry Maguire playing in the heart of that defense, he's got good ball playing ability, and so he was able to bypass the Leicester City structure in the middle and their press by going towards Hojlund. And Hojlund, who, of course, lately has been really poor with his hold-up play and his involvement in the build-up phase. But now in this sequence, he was actually pretty good. He's using actually his technique to lift the ball over the defender's leg and then keep the ball. The ball goes towards Ahmad. This goal, even though it was scored by Zirkzee, it's actually Hojlund's goal, because his contribution was amazing. So after that, he moves into the box over here. Garnacho does what a winger is supposed to do, and then Hojlund does what a striker is supposed to do. Moves, like just shakes off his marker and then moves into this space where Garnacho finds him, and then that's a back heel finish. That should have been a finish. That should have been an amazing goal. Vote face was in the right position, but then it drops to Zirkzee, who is able to score. But here, Hojlund, who is really celebrating this because he's absolutely determined to score, because he's way better than the stats are showing. Hojlund is way better than his current stats are showing. And I think that his involvement in this game from the build-up phase, allowing us to move the ball into the opposition final third, and then being close to actually finish the chance, if it were not for that block from the Leicester defenders, is just the kind of play you want to see from your center forward, and I was really happy to see Hojlund do that. Now, Garnacho, and here now I'm not, of course, criticizing him, or Dalot, who I'm going to talk about in a minute. I'm just pointing out a few areas of improvement, because I think that Garnacho definitely improved us in the second half, and he's currently one of the most dangerous players that we have in the squad. But here are a few things he needs to improve on, because I think that he didn't make the right decisions in a few sequences. Take this one, for example. Here, high IQ pass from Diogo Dalot. We have one of those every century, but that was just the right pass, the right way. Well done. Good job, Dalot. And then here, so we have Hojlund. He wants to move into this space, which in my opinion is the right run right here. But Garnacho does just play too fast, because what happens here is that as this defender is coming towards Garnacho, look, Garnacho, why is he shooting from this angle? Just hold on to the ball a little bit, moves closer towards the byline in order to drag this defender closer to you, which will open up the angle for Hojlund, because that should have been the pass. That's it. That should have been the pass. And this is a great example of how, yes, Hojlund can improve on certain things, but I think his movement in this sequence is excellent. And I'm going to show you another sequence where his movement, again, was on point, but he simply didn't get the ball. This should have been 2-1 Manchester United. And here, Hojlund, you see how angry he is? Guys, this guy's going to get Mjolnir or Stormbreaker, and he's going to cut everyone into pieces, you know? Don't fuck around with the Vikings, all right? But in all seriousness, I think I get Hojlund's frustration. You know, he's trying to do his best for the team. He's trying to get into positions, but he doesn't get the ball soon enough. Here again, Bruno Fernandes, who has been imperial for us in midfield again, plays a long ball into space towards Diogo Dalot. And look at that. Again, Hojlund in that area. That's it. This is the pass. Why is Dalot holding and waiting for the ball to just, completely stop rebounding, go towards the ball and then play it across the goal line towards, that's it, that should have been the ball. But he's waiting for another rebound, and then by then it's too late, and he's passing it to whom? Who is he passing it to? Zirkzee is coming from the opposition touchline. How is he going to make all of this ground? It's impossible. So again, Diogo Dalot, that was not the right choice. But again, despite that, again, like I said, I'm not criticizing the players. I am just showing what can they improve on. And I'm just showing you that sometimes it's just that split-second decision, that last decision in the final third. That's what we currently need. That's what's stopping us from being a team that scores a lot of goals. And despite that, despite the fact that I seem like I'm criticizing the players, no, I'm actually quite happy, especially with Garnacho's cameo. And in fact, without him, we would not have scored the second goal, because again, it's with that wing play that we're able, and that flair, the fact that he wanted to, lob the opposition player. That's what got us that handball, which of course we were able to score from. Again, an amazing delivery from Bruno Fernandes. And then of course, Harry Slabhead Maguire with that beautiful goal. We are way past the meme era of Harry Maguire. He's clearly one of the best players in the team right now. He's, in my opinion, one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League currently. And that's 2-1 Manchester United, and we are deservedly through to the next round. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have another thing to add, because I know for sure that some of you are going to post the following in the comment section, and you're going to say, hey, Mr. Scarlet Report, yeah, good analysis, but I disagree. I think Manchester United is much bigger than Leicester. We are much better. We should be doing better. Well, actually, I will say, yes, you're right, but to a certain extent. Because let me just break this to you. I watch a lot of football outside of the Premier League. Just to give you an example, I'm currently watching Norwich in the Championship for reasons that I cannot reveal right now, but in 2 weeks, you're going to see that surprise posted into my channel. So I watch a few of their games against a variety of opponents in the Championship. And the tactics that you see involved in the Championship are just as sophisticated as the ones that you see in the Champions League or in the Premier League. So currently, that gap in tactical flexibility and nuances and sophistication between the top clubs and the smaller clubs is actually narrowing down. In fact, the tactical field is quite level among all of these teams. So what makes the difference between a top team and an average team? It's actually the players being able to create moments and to do it consistently. That spark of creativity, that ruthless finishing, that decisive piece of defending, and being able to do it every single week. That is what separates an average team from a good team from a top team. Many of the sequences that I've showed you with Garnacho and Dalot, if those were sequences that involved, I don't know, Mo Salah, Griezmann, Lautaro Martinez, those would have been goals. At least there would be 80% or 90% chances of them being goals. And that's what we need to improve on. I think that we have good players and they get into some good positions, but it's always that last decision. They always fail to make that last pass or to, turn that last shot into a goal. And that's definitely something that we need to improve on. And there's only so much that a manager can do in those kind of situations. Yes, you can have attacking drills, etc. on the training pitch, but still, it's up to the players. They are the ones who have to perform those tasks on the pitch. And currently, the current Manchester United players, they simply don't have that killer instinct in them. And unless we, evolve towards a much more ruthless Manchester United, we are never going to win games to the rate that we need, and we are never going to be able to compete for trophies. So anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this tactical analysis video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. Until next time, cheers.